Hey everybody, right, so today what I want to do is I want to make an adjustment here. Right, this new post MD, I'm just going to show you what that is here. Just going to run the application. Alright, so as we're looking at this, what happens is when I go create and I go to save to a file, it's going to put in the location that I've got stored in the preferences, but you can see it has this new file name, post.md. Well, that's fine, but it turns out that it's not really going to work for me because I have a naming convention that I use for all of my blog posts, the markdown files, and if I click on here, you'll see it. So I usually start with the date, so like 2020-01-29 followed by some description. So what I want to do is I want to replace this new post and I want to have the current date in its place to begin with, because at the moment when I use this application that I made for myself, I have to go in, select new post and put in, replace it with like 2020-04, 03, something like that, and then hit save. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's just go ahead and stop there for a second. Okay, so clearly this is the string that needs to be changed, but obviously it's a dynamic string, right? This part here, new post, needs to have the date from the actual post created itself, which we actually have access to because it's already coming in here as part of the data here, this metadata.date. But there's one problem with that, and I'll show you. Just run the application again. If I go create, what it's going to do is it's going to put the date, which is the part that I want, but notice that it's also got the time, because basically this is the format that the Gatsby.js markdown parser that I have expects the date and time to be that it can convert to the post. So what I need to do here is I basically need to look for the T and strip everything else after that, right? Now there's a couple of different ways we could do this. We could either create a substring, look for the T and delete everything after it, but honestly there's actually another way we can do this, which I think is the one I'm going to go with, because we know dates follow a format, right? It's always going to be a 4-year date, 4-year digit for the year. Sorry, 4-digit for the year. And then it's going to be 2 for the month and 2 for the date. So with the dashes in between, right, it's always going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's always going to be 10. The character length is 10. So what we can do is we can cheat. Not really cheat, I guess. We can say, look, take this string here, strip out the first 10 characters, that's all I need for the file name, and then I'll put a dash after it. So I think that's the approach we're going to take. So I'm going to stop it, and we're going to, haven't pre-planned this, so we're just going to do this live and see how it works out. So I think what I'll do is, for now, just as I'm debugging this, as we go into the view controller itself on this view deload here, we're going to have this data, right? So it's going to be at the end here. Now what I can do is, let's kind of do this the old school way, right? So we'll just say print, and then I want it to show me metadata date. That's what I want to see. So let's go ahead and put that in quotation marks so it works properly. In fact, let's make this real clear. So we'll say date only. Now when we first run this, of course, we're going to get the first one's going to have the time as well. But I'm kind of showing you this for those of you who may be new to programming, some different ways that you can go in. Some different ways that you can go in and do some debugging. And by far, even though everyone's going to say they don't do it, you ask any programmer, they'll say they don't do it, but they do, right? We all do print statements. It's just a thing we do. So if I go in, you can see here, date only followed by time. So let's stop that. Go back over here. All right. Let's create a new variable. Type string. I want the metadata date. Now we're going to have to shorten this string. We can do. Let's see what options we have here. So you can see we've got this distance, right? Returns the distance between the C's, not what we want. If we keep going through, we can say after string returns the position immediately after the given index. Close, but no. Returns an index that is the specified distance from the given index. So let's take a look at that one possibly, right? So we actually could say, we could try, 0 offset by 10, something like that. Let's see what else we have. Possibly want to make it substring, right? Returns the sequence containing all but the given number of initial elements. So that's kind of the opposite of what we run, right? So we can say drop last. Returns the subsequence. Gosh, I can't talk this evening. Returns the subsequence containing all but the specified number of final elements. Well, let's take a look at that, right? So we can do that, and we know that basically we want to go in and say, let's try it from character 11. Right? Let's give this a go. Compiler's going to be happy. No, why not? Value of type string, subsequence, substring. Fix. Because, funny enough, I need to say it is a string. So allow me to go ahead and do this. Okay. Let's just do that. Alright, so we're going to go create. So we're close. Look at this, 2020-04-. Right, so we need 2 more characters there. We're missing 2 more, but we're close. Maybe they're saying barking up the wrong. Let's see. You're misreading. We're going to run it and find out. Create. Yeah, we're going the wrong way. Okay, I see what's happening. So date only 2020-04-04. It's close. So what it's actually doing, if you look here, we can count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're still going to be okay with this. So it's actually done the opposite and taken out the time. So it's still fine because the time is always going to be 2 numbers for the hour, 2 numbers for the minutes, 2 numbers for the seconds. It's going to be that format regardless. It's a 24-hour clock. So unless we invent a new time, the way of doing time anytime soon, this is going to work out just fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, alright, don't need my debug, let's get rid of this. And I don't need this here because I really don't have to care about this, and I certainly don't want to create the variable and take up memory until I need it. And I don't need it till right this spot here, right? But to keep the code clean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to take this out. All right, we've got to do some escaping because and then we're going to escape and use the variable. So it's going to be date only. And then do you remember afterwards I was saying that I wanted a dash, and then I can put the rest of the file name. So let's go ahead, let's run this. Okay, we're going to go create, save to file. Boom, there you go. So we got 2020-04-04, which is today's date, followed by a dash, and I can just put in there my title or whatever I want. So I'm now matching the format that I wanted in here, right? Like if I click on that one. So awesome. That is one bug fixed. So what I'm going to do is just gonna commit this before we go any further. Default file